friends, we are creating a whimsical scallop border today. Think soft curves, playful details, and that touch of magic for your pages. This is a sequel to my classic scallop borders tutorial, and we are doing it in both Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. I'm using Photoshop for the demo, but I will call out any Photoshop element differences as we go. Grab your favorite background paper and open a new document. Let's build this adorable border step by step. First, head over to the toolbar and grab the brush tool. In the tool options, open the brush preset picker menu and select the hard round brush. Set the brush size to around 300 or 400 pixels and the hardness to 100%. And then set the mode to normal and both opacity and flow are at 100%. And then click on the brush settings icon. That will open the brush settings panel where we'll start shaping our scallop brush. If you don't see it, in the menu bar, go to Window, Brush Settings. In the brush settings panel, check spacing and set it to 90%. This controls how close your scallop circles appear. Click Shape Dynamics to open the options. Set size jitter between 35 to 40% with control set to off. Set angle jitter to 50%. This adds a natural twist so your border feels organic, not mechanical. Set roundness jitter to 0% and minimum roundness to 0%. Check both Flip X jitter and Flip Y jitter for random variation. Play with these numbers to create your unique look. Now let's add scattering. To open the settings, uncheck both axes, set scatter to 60%, count to 9, and count jitter to 52%. Make sure all control boxes are set to off. This creates that fun, irregular rhythm like hand-cut paper edges. Quick tip, just leave the smoothing unchecked for natural imperfect look. If you want cleaner flow, then check it on. Now you can just close the brush settings panel. For Photoshop Elements users, select the brush tool. Make sure you click the regular brush tool icon, not the impressionist brush. Click the brush mode icon and open the brush preset picker. Choose default brushes and click hard round 19 pixels. Set the size to 300 pixels with the opacity of 100%. And here set the mode to normal. Click the brush settings box to open the panel. Set fade to 0, hue jitter to 0%, and set scatter to 15%, spacing between 10 to 20%, and hardness to 100%. For roundness, experiment with what feels right. I'm keeping mine at 100%, and you can just close it. Before we start painting, head to the Layers panel and click the Create a New Layer icon. This keeps your scallop separate from the background. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later when editing. Now for the fun part, click and drag to paint your border. Since we're going whimsical, don't stress about perfection. Let it flow naturally. If you want a little more control, hold Shift while dragging to keep your brush straight. And if you spot any gaps or areas that need more love, just click and drag to add extra scattered circles. Easy. Now let's create our top and bottom borders. Grab the Marquee tool and here in the tool options, click on the new selection icon and then set the feather to 0 pixel. On the document, click and drag to create a selection halfway between your top and bottom scallop layers. Press Ctrl X on Windows and that is Command X on Mac to cut that selection. Then press Ctrl V, Command V on Mac to paste it back onto the canvas. Press Ctrl T, Command T on Mac to get the transform options. And rotate this layer so the rounded scallops are at the bottom and the straight edge is at the top. Press Enter, Mac Return key when you're happy with the rotation. In the Layers panel, name these two layers. I will name them Border Template 1 and Border Template 2. Perfect! Now let's add pattern paper to our borders. This is optional. You can also use the foreground color if you prefer. Open your chosen paper and grab the marquee tool again and select the section you want to use. Press Ctrl C, Mac Command C to copy it. Go back to your document and press Ctrl V, Mac Command V to paste. Drag this paper layer directly above the border layer you want to clip it to. In the menu bar, go to Layer, Create Clipping Mask. Repeat this process for your other borders. Here is what my layout looks like after I made borders and clipped pattern papers to them all. There are times where you see gaps between the template showing the background paper. To fix this, go to the Layers panel and click on the template layer and use the marquee tool. Click and drag to create a selection large enough to cover the gap. Then press Alt Backspace, Option Delete on a Mac to fill with your foreground color. And then just press Ctrl D, Mac Command D to deselect. And here I will do it one more time. I will go to the Border Template 1 in the Layers panel and use the marquee tool again and click and drag to create a selection that is large enough to cover the gap. Then press Alt Backspace, Mac Option Delete to fill with your foreground color. Now let's add shadows to give our borders dimension. In the Layers panel, click on the border template that you'd like to add shadow. So I will click on the border template 2 right here. And then go to the bottom and click on this FX layer icon and click Drop Shadow. And here you can enter these settings. For the blend mode, I'll set it to multiply and the opacity to 72%. I'll set the angle to 120 degrees, set the distance to 7 pixels, and I'll set the spread to 2% and the size to 18 pixels. Then just click OK. To copy the shadow to other border layers, hold Alt, Option on Mac, then click and drag the drop shadow effect from one layer to another in the Layers panel. If you need to adjust the settings, simply double-click the drop shadow effect to reopen the dialog box and modify to your liking. For Photoshop Elements users, at the bottom of the Layers panel, click the Styles icon and choose Drop Shadows from the drop-down. Click the last option, Soft Edge. Double or triple click it until the shadow appears on your template layer. Click the gear icon to adjust the settings. Lighting angle to 120 degrees. I will set the size to 18 pixels, the distance to 7 to 10 pixels, and the opacity to 72 or 75%. And then just click OK. Here is my layout after adding the photo and embellishments. I love how the layered scallop borders at the bottom add texture and dimension, and the mix of patterned papers keeps it interesting without feeling busy. Everything guides your eye up toward the title and photo, which gives the page a fresh, modern look. To make the layers pop, I created a separate layer for the shadow effect and gently used the smudge tool to lift it naturally. The little details, like the squirrel, tiny banner, and word bits really help tell the story of that day and capture the cozy feeling of fall. For another layout, I used the same whimsical border technique with a bigger brush, around 1400 pixels. Added drop shadows on their own layers and clip papers to each border. The mix of orange and teal brings out the color in the photo, and the little deer and word strips like embrace the change add a sweet seasonal touch. Overall, I wanted this page to feel peaceful and warm, like that quiet moment on a trail when you just stop and take in the scenery. Thanks for scrubbing with me today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe for more tips. Wishing you a wonderful day, my friend, and keep on scrapping.